mitzvah number 51. This is Mitzvahs Aseh, performing the mitzvah number 21, which is a mitzvah on Bezdin. Again, this is another mitzvah that fell when they were, was on them when they were in Eretz Yisrael. Found in Shemais, Perek Chav Aleph, Pasuk Chav Ches, chapter 21, verse 28. It says, V'chiyigach shar es ish, oi es isha v'meis. If an ox scores a man or a woman and they die, it is a mitzvah on Beis Din to judge cases of damaging oxen. Whether it injures a person, whether it damages property. That's a mitzvah on Beis Din to start judging those cases. Now, the owner of the animal obviously is liable for any damages caused by it, whether it's the person's or the property. And we have two different types of classifications of animals. One is a animal that we call tam. That's right. One is called muad. Now, tam is what we can assume normally animals are non-damaging. They don't go around damaging or unruly. They're not just going around goring. You know what goring is? It doesn't. It takes its horns. We don't necessarily assume that animals go around doing that. So that animal we're going to see is only going to pay half of the damage, because the owner did not necessarily have to assume that this animal was going to do it. However, a muad is an animal that has been proven to, as a habit, go around causing damages and to attack. Now, the first three times, like I said, the first three times that it causes damages, and we call it a tam, that it's unproven to be a damager. We said he only pays half of the damages, and he only pays up to the value of the animal that did the damage.
3 strikes, you're out?
3 strikes, you're out. That's really the truth. Because the Gemara is going to, we'll see that in a minute. Now, so you only pay for a tam, the one that's unproven to be a damager. You only pay up to the value, again, up to the value of the animal. Because they could just say, take this animal, right? He doesn't have to pay more than, it's like insurance. They only pay up to the value. They're not going to pay more than the value. Now, the muad is an animal that caused damages 3 times. And each time, the owner was warned afterwards, hey, you better watch your animal after that time, right? That's considered a muad, and then he's liable to pay, he's responsible to pay for the full amount, no matter what. Now, an animal that kills a person, we stone the animal. It's stoned. It's not just killed, it's stoned. That doesn't make it, that's irregardless if it's a tam or a muad. As soon as it kills a person.
What's the point of killing an animal?
Because then we got rid of the damage. We got rid of this potential damager. It's a threat. You can go around and kill somebody else. Once it's killed, usually animals are scared of people. If an animal just goes around killing, that's a dangerous animal. Now, in a case of a muad, in addition to the person losing the animal, the owner also has to pay what we call kaifer. It doesn't just get killed, but he has to pay kaifer, redemption money, to the family of the victim who was killed by this animal. Now, we said the laws of this mitzvah are not only to an ox, even though the Torah says shar, an ox, but it can refer to any kind of animal, or even a bird, or fish.
A bird could go or something?
Let's say a bird goes around, attacking with its claws. A person has, let's say, a hawk or an eagle, and it goes and attacks. You pay. Now, I'll just tell you quickly a little story. We have a rule, one of the halachas is brought down about the Gemara talks about this type of tam and muad. It says like this, that if an animal gores on Shabbos, attacks with its horns, goes and he damages on Shabbos, but not during the week, if he go, it's got to be, you can have a special case that it's not necessarily a muad, right? If the gore is only during the week, only on Shabbos, or gore, then you say it's not considered a muad that you're going to pay also during the week. If it only gored on Shabbos. So the Gemara discusses why. So the Gemara says because since it saw people in different clothes, it did not recognize them. People wearing their Shabbos suits, it sees people usually dressed in work clothes. And then it sees them in Shabbos clothes. There's something different. It went crazy. That's why it did it. Okay? So now, because of this rule, there's a story that goes that somebody came to the Rogatchover Goyim, Rogatchover genius. She asked this rabbi, she has a problem that her baby, she wants him to give her some kind of a bracha, that her baby will not nurse. She goes, her baby will not nurse her from her on Shabbos. She goes, she doesn't understand why. So now I just told you a halacha. So now you guys can be smart and be like the Rogatchover guy and say, why did the baby not nurse from her on Shabbos?
He was confused.
Because he was confused. It did not look like.
She was wearing different clothes.
And therefore it didn't look like the
mother.
So that's what he said.
So
he says that
face is the same.
Yeah, but the person coming with those clothes, the baby couldn't recognize. So the baby wouldn't nurse. So he said, try wearing your weekday clothes. So she thought she was crazy, right?
On Shabbos?
Yeah. He said, you know what? She came to him and said, I can't. The baby won't nurse me on Shabbos. So he said, so wear your weekday clothes. That was his answer. So sure enough, she tried wearing the weekday clothes, and everybody was saying, the Rogatchover is a Navi. He's a Baal Moifes. He can do all kinds of miracles. So he said, no, this has nothing to do with miracles. The Mishnah says, the Gemara brings down, that an animal that gores only on Shabbos, he says, is not considered a muad. Why? Because it didn't recognize the people. So he said the same thing.
People on Shabbos and you can't do anything?
What's this?
No.
It means to say that if it did it on Shabbos only, we won't call that animal necessarily a muad.
But do you kill it?
If it does it 3 times?
So if it's going to gore 3 times, I think you're going to end up having
even
to
though it
kill
doesn't
it.
recognize people,
Yeah.
it feels uncomfortable, so then that's because it feels uncomfortable, it doesn't recognize people, so then
The question is, if it did it again, you're going to kill it. But if it, let's say you didn't catch it and it ran around and gored again, do you pay? So if it gored during the week, you're not going to pay for a muad. That's the question.
Yeah.
All right.